Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by mountains, there lived a 24-year-old young man named Marco. Marco was always restless. His mind was full of thoughts all the time. Every day, many thoughts came and went, making him feel tired and uneasy. He often felt sad about his past and worried about his future. Because of these thoughts, his mind was like a storm. He could not feel calm, could not sleep well, and had even forgotten how to smile. One day, Marco heard about a faraway village in the hills. People said a wise old man lived there. This man was once a famous psychologist in the city. He had helped many people and taught them how to have peace in their minds. Now he was old, and he left the busy city life to live in a quiet village close to nature. Sometimes he gave advice to visitors. Marco became curious and hopeful. He decided to go and meet this old man. He thought, maybe this wise man can help me find peace. After many days of long and tiring travel, Marco reached the hill village. He saw a small house covered with green plants. On the porch, the old man was sitting quietly. His eyes were closed, and he looked very peaceful. Marco walked up to him and said softly, "Grandfather, my mind is very restless. I cannot stop thinking. I want peace in my heart. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes and gave a calm smile. He said, "So you are looking for peace? Come with me. I will give you a small task." He took Marco to his yard and filled a glass full of water right to the top. The glass was so full that even a small shake would make it spill. He gave the glass to Marco and said, "Walk from here to the edge of the village and come back. But remember, don't spill even one drop." Marco was surprised but wanted to do his best, so he agreed. He held the glass carefully and started walking. The road was narrow and busy. Some people were walking, some were running, shopkeepers were calling customers, and dogs were barking. But Marco did not look around. His eyes stayed on the glass. He walked slowly and carefully, step by step. People looked at him with surprise, but no one stopped him. They knew he was learning something important. Finally, Marco came back and said, "Grandfather, I did it. I didn't spill even one drop." The old man smiled and asked, "That's good, but tell me, did you see the children playing on the side of the road? Did you hear the dogs barking?" Marco looked surprised and said, "No, I didn't see or hear anything. I was only looking at the glass." The old man smiled again and said, "That is the secret. When your mind is in the present moment, there is no room for fear, confusion, or extra thoughts. You were only thinking about the water in the glass. At that moment, your mind was quiet. You were not sad about the past, and you were not worried about the future." Slowly, Marco understood. This was the peace he was searching for. Peace is not something we find outside. Peace is already inside us when we live in the present moment. Marco bowed his head and said softly, "Grandfather, now I understand. If I want to calm my mind, I must live in the present. That is when real peace comes." Last light touched the ground. Birds were flying back to their nests. Marco started walking home. But now, he was no longer the same restless young man. he was peaceful inside because he knew how to calm his mind. In the next story, there will be new thoughts and new lessons. Until then, stay well and stay peaceful.